how to, so it won't, there we go. Okay, let me unspotlight Moz. Oh, should I spotlight myself? That's what I should do, right? Except for I'm not. Rachel, hello, Rachel. I can't believe you tried to steal my, no, I'm joking. Mr. Moz, what do you have, honey? There we go. I gotta exit out. There we go. If I exit out of the web page, then we don't have to hear my double. Moz, what was your question, honey?
My question was, how do we find out how much stars we have in total?
You can actually check, you can sign in to your Kicksite account. So if you've never done that, you may need to speak to Mrs. Heather at the desk so that you can figure out how to sign in, you know, your username and everything to sign into your Kicksite account. And you can actually check it yourself. Or you could, of course, talk to Miss Heather. What you could do, Moz, at the very end, I could check it for you at the very end here, okay?
I will look real quick and then I'll text it to Mom.
Oh, look, Miss Becky's on. She can do it for you real quick.
Thank you, Miss Becky.
Okay, so remember, that reminds me, all stars, the last of your stars will be counted as of Wednesday, and then we will restart the count, of course. And that means also all testing paperwork is due Wednesday. Otherwise, you're going to get a late fee and you don't want to add on to your cost, right? So please, I need you guys to make sure you have earned your purple star. If you have not, you need to get onto class. So if for some reason your parents can't literally drive you to class to the studio, what's your solution? Do you say, I guess I can't get to class. I can't earn my purple stripe and get my testing paperwork. Remember, that's not how we work. What's the solution? Yes, Luca. Oh wait, Luca, you're muted, dude.
Go on Zoom.
That's right. If at any time you cannot get to class, you know, because obviously you don't drive, or mom or dad or grandma or grandpa can't get you there, you go to Zoom. Okay, you have the schedule. Go to Zoom, take your class. You can still earn stripes during virtual class. And even the people who have only ever gone to virtual, we still have some students that are a little wary, you know, they have health issues or something and they just can't go to the studio as a result with the virus thing going on. They've earned every one of their stripes. We mailed it to them, we mailed them their testing paperwork, and they got it done. Okay, so don't take that as an excuse. Yes, of course, I meant purple stripe. Whatever I said before, I have no idea what I said before, but in my head, that's what I said. Okay, and our test is on Saturday. If you are testing for your orange belt, white and orange or orange and stripe, you are testing at 9. Okay, each test is a little less than an hour. If you are testing for your green and brown, so if you're an orange with white stripe and you're going for your green, I hope you're listening. Okay, you are coming in at 10. So make sure, because once you test for green, you do have to actually spar. Okay, so you need to come in at the right test time. It wouldn't be enough for you to come in at the 9. If you are testing for red and above, you need to come in at 11. Okay, and as far as I know, I was told last night, so any of our instructors, please correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're testing for blue or junior, you usually test the whole testing time. This time though, you'll come in at 10, start at 10, simply because of, you know, we can't have too many people in the studio at the same time, and the biggest tests are always for the orange belts. Okay, so yes, Moz.
Why is Miss Rachel not here?
She simply isn't. Are you trying to kick me off, Moz? You want me gone?
Just asking.
I'm helping out. You know, so you can get a different perspective here. Don't worry, you're gonna have someone else tomorrow, and then you won't have to see my ugly mug. No, I'm joking, but you'll still see me. Okay, So, and next Friday we have gold and master. So we are going to move on to our POW, chapter 5, positive self expectancy. I just need to now share my screen because I do have the PowerPoint. Okay, hopefully everyone is awesome. I need everyone to have pencil and paper to take notes. I expect you to learn about this. You're not going to become an expert. I know that, and that's okay, but I want you to learn at least the gist. And if someone asked you about it, you could go back to your notes to find out. So the first thing I want to know, and remember, I can only see 3 of you at the moment, so just unmute yourself. What do you think positive self-expectancy means? No drawing on the screen, please. You should be focusing. Someone help me out. What is positive self-expectancy? What does this sound like? What do you think?
So, ma'am, it sounds like you
Self-ex-
expect yourself to do great
Expectancy.
things.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay, that's one way. Miss Kathy, what did you have, Weston? Or not?
Positive self-expectancy for me is like, let's say you have a certain type of goal. Like for my goal, it's to get my junior black belt on August 1st and pass my karate test. Positive self-expectancy is having the positive confidence and determination and courage to be able to do that.
Okay, so Weston, stay on. So what do you tell yourself? What's either your self-talk or even what you say to another person in conversation about your upcoming test Saturday and in the future for
Yeah.
your black belt test? What do you say then? What are you saying to yourself and another person?
I'm saying to myself and another person, I can do this. I am strong, I am confident, and I'll achieve all my goals if I put my mind to it.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so the ultimate here,
Yeah.
this whole chapter could be summed up in a few words here. You, just like Miss Kathy said, I expect the best of myself. Right there.
Yeah.
Everything I do, I
Exactly.
expect the best. So another way would be,
And have a
I'm going
good
to do great on
positive
that
self-talk.
test. I'm going to do great. I'm going to pass. You, in no way would you say, ooh, I hope I pass. I think I might. No, I am going to do great. I'm going to do amazing, right? Expect the best of yourself at every turn. Okay, you guys, always, always, always. So I love this book because he gives you a little summary in the front of the chapter, each chapter, and then a review at the very end. It's so awesome. So if you're still, really young and your reading level's not high enough for a book like this, you can still read the summary in the beginning and the review at the end and get a really good idea of what he's talking about. Okay, so an antonym, remember an antonym is the opposite meaning of the word. So an antonym for self-expectancy is pessimism, cynicism, and despair. Pessimism is when you say, I can't do that. It's not going to work out for me. I can't take that test because I just know I'm going to fail it. Cynicism is just being negative all the time. Everything's crappy, right? In despair, you've just given up on everything. And I hope none of you ever do that. Synonyms. So remember, synonyms are words that are very similar to the word we're talking about, self-expectancy. So you're optimistic, you're enthusiasm, you have enthusiasm, and you have hope. Okay, so a loser's self-talk would be, with my luck, I knew I would fail. Okay, how many of you have said that phrase, with my luck, blah, blah, blah? Oh yeah, that was my luck. I failed that test, or the car broke down, or my toy broke, or my tower fell over. Yeah, with my luck, that's the way it works. I know I've said it, and of course we need to eliminate that, right? Then a winner's self-talk Good today, better tomorrow. Next time I'll get it right. So you know your failures are not the end all be all. You're going to reflect on what went wrong and you're going to improve. Or maybe say you're timing yourself on something. It could be anything. It could be a jog. It could be a game, how fast you could read something, you know, whatever it is. And each time you make an improvement. Remember, this is all about you, the individual. You are not comparing yourself to other people. How do you improve? And the proverb, that which you fear or expect most will surely come to pass. The body manifests what the mind harbors. Whoa, what does that mean? Someone help me out. What, break that down into a little, maybe some easier language, especially for our younger ones. Think about what, oh, go on, Miss Kathy.
I'll kind of take a stab at it. So that kind of what you dwell on kind of will manifest itself, or kind of, that what you focus on the most generally happens. So if you focus on, I'm never going to get this, I'm going to fail, like that, it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes,
where-
and he uses those words in the chapter.
So if you only focus on, why you're going to fail instead of why you're going to pass, then, your mind focuses on that. If you only focus on what's negative, then you only remember what's negative. Instead of like when you sit down and take a test, you only think about, oh, well, I don't remember this part that much, or I didn't study this part that much, instead of focusing on all the positive things that you did do to prepare yourself and why you're going to pass and how much you did to prepare yourself. If you psych yourself out before the test, then, you suck all the confidence out of yourself before the test, and you get yourself into a mindset where you're like, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. Even though you've practiced for that, next bell over and over and over again, and you're ready to test, if you just focus on the negative, your mindset just implodes. So
Yes.
That's kind of what it means to me.
Yes, it does. And this proverb, I think, also it shows you The Secret, the book The Secret, which is one that's required for second degree, in which that's exactly what the author says. What you think of and obsess over, that's what's going to happen. And what's the phrase Master Lappin uses, you guys?
What you focus on expands.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you're focusing, thinking about, obsessing about, that's what's going to happen, unfortunately. So after I read The Secret last year, I actually had this thought. I have this garden friend who has a much smaller area than me. Like, she doesn't even have an acre, and I have 6.5 here. But somehow on a very regular basis, she has snakes, and not just the non-venomous kind that I love. She has the poisonous kind, or the venomous kind, all the time. And she is scared to death and freaks out every time. And I told her, you know what? I think you actually attract these snakes. You focus and think about them so often. I think you literally attract them to your property, because I almost never see snakes on my property. And I have tons of acreage and plants and little critters for them to eat. So who knows? So here's something directly from the book in the notes. Every winner can be identified easily because his or her positive self-expectancies. Winners expect to win. They know that so-called luck is the intersection of preparation and awareness. The single most outwardly identifiable trait demonstrated by a winning human being is that of positive self-expectation, which is pure and simple optimism. They know they're going to win. They know they're going to succeed or pass the test, whatever it is, because they've put their mind to it. Now, was it luck? No, it wasn't luck in the least. It was because they prepared, they studied, they took the steps to get where they needed to go the whole way to succeed. So luck, winning isn't just about you got lucky. It's about everything you put into it to make you succeed. Remember, you have control. Things usually work out my way because I create my daily horoscopes out of my great expectations. So should you open the newspaper or a magazine or an internet browser and go to the latest horoscope for the day or the month or the year, and then tell yourself, oh, that's what's happening today, and fully believe it? Who, tell me, should you believe the horoscope they put out there?
No,
Thumbs
ma'am.
up or thumbs down? No way. Because then you're letting an outside force take control of your life. Remember, you're in control. Never allow an outside force to take control of your decisions and how you are going to get something done. And that's what they mean here. Make your own horoscope, set your own expectations and goals and how you're going to get there. Don't let someone else made the horoscope, by the way, right? It didn't just poof into existence on the magazine or the newspaper. Someone else literally wrote it. And meaning their past experiences and personality may be within it. So don't let others guide you like that. So positive self-expectancy. Winning black belts learn to have an overall feeling of optimism and enthusiasm. Winners expect the best in order to achieve their best. So you guys come to every class
I can't
knowing
hear you.
you can't hear me. Turn up your volume then, honey. Because I'm not sure why you can't hear me. Can anyone else not hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, so it's your computer or system, so probably turn up your volume. Okay, so when you come to class as a future black belt, every class you need to have a good positive attitude, right? I'm going to do awesome in this class. I'm going to learn something new or learn a new technique, form, all sorts of things, right? For instance, I learned a couple things just yesterday in our black belt class. Let me say his last name. Mr. Gohan led our black belt class yesterday because Master Lappin had to meet with some potential students. And so he showed us a couple new things. For instance, when you have your feet together and you're about to do, say, a crescent kick, you need to, he says, bend your knees just the tiniest bit so that you, first of all, you don't do cheat steps, never cheat steps. And then you can get that extra pop in your kick, like in Basai. Another one, I think it's called the 460 kick. I had never heard of that, never seen it. I didn't have a clue. They thought I was crazy because I really had never. But so he showed us and did an awesome job with it. And of course, we practiced it. I didn't do an awesome job. But do you think if I practice more, I will? So did I get discouraged? Like, oh my God, I can't do this horrible kick. No, you got to have the expectancy that I know, oh, I'm going to practice that and I'm going to get better and better. Mr. Gohan even said it took him over 2 years to master that kick because it is a very complicated kick, but that's okay. We just practice, take the time to do it because we expect the best of ourselves. Okay, same thing with your tests, as we've already said. The tests are coming up. I'm going to do great. It doesn't matter.
Miss
Okay, I'm gonna
Nicole,
do
I
great.
can't hear you.
Who is saying that, by the way?
Michael.
Michael,
Moore.
Michael, you need to do something on your computer, honey. Where? Can someone type, Michael, that he needs to do something with his computer, maybe turn up his volume? Because he can't hear me. Say it.
Michael, try turning up your volume.
Yeah, I did that. It's unplugged. I just unplugged it and then I turned it
Okay, this makes no sense.
Michael, can you hear us?
Michael, can you hear me?
Okay, I just typed him. Okay, so let's move on. Hopefully he'll fix it. Winners expect to win for 3 reasons, you guys. Hope you're writing this down. First is desire. Remember, we talked about desire in the previous chapter. You want to win, or whatever that goal is. I want this goal. I want this achievement. So desire, that want and desire to do something is what's going to help you achieve. Because if you don't want something, are you going to achieve? No. I'm having that problem right now with my daughter, Evelyn. She's a junior black belt. She doesn't really want to go take the black belt test or care about becoming a black belt. So how are we going to be able to get her to test and to achieve black belt if she doesn't want to do that, right? If someone doesn't want something, how can they possibly do it? It's really hard. Second is self-control. You know it is you who makes it happen. Remember, you are in control of every one of your actions and thoughts. How can you take control? So you need a desire to want it. You have the self-control to go after it. Okay. So if you know I want to be a black belt, you have to have the self-control to go to class on a regular basis instead of staying home and doing whatever it is you'd rather do at home, right? Preparation. They are prepared to win. They are ready. They have learned winning habits. And that's part of also that self-control. You have to have those winning habits of going to class on a regular basis. And as future black belts, we've got to have fit bodies too, right? So we need to eat healthy. We need to make sure we exercise on a regular basis. We don't put nasty things into our body like drugs or cigarettes. So we have to have those healthy habits to get us to our goal, to whatever we want to achieve or win. So we have 3 things: desire, self-control, and preparation in order to win. Oh, I could use my arrow here. Okay, winners expect to win, period. There's nothing else behind it. Simply this: mental obsessions have physical manifestations. Ooh, so if, again, he gave so many examples in the book here. Literally, if you constantly complain of feeling ill or sick or you're hurt, you never feel good constantly, and you're verbalizing it all the time in your head and to other people all the time, how you don't feel well. Guess what happens to your body, you guys? Your body hears all those negative signals and it occurs. So your body literally breaks down and doesn't feel good, and you don't feel good. So you can, there's lots of research out there that says you can make a huge impact on your health and how you feel by the way you express yourself. I feel great. Okay, tell yourself, I feel great. My body is healthy and in awesome working order. He even talks about a woman. She was 5 years old. She went to a tarot reader, and the tarot reader told her, Michael has raised his hand. He's done it repeatedly. Yes, Michael, if you can hear me, respond. Unmute yourself.
Michael, can you hear us?
Michael, the dragon, can you hear me?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so he talks about a woman at 5 years old. She got a tarot reading, and the lady told her, when you are 43 years old, you're going to die. First of all, can you imagine telling a 5-year-old that? So this 5-year-old took it to heart. And for the rest of her life, she truly believed she was going to die at 43. So around that time, when she's about to turn 43, she actually goes in for some sort of surgery. It didn't say what it was. And she kept telling all her relatives that came in to visit her, and then the nurse that was at her on her, in her hospital room, I'm not going to wake up from this surgery. I'm not going to wake up from this surgery. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Over and over. Guess what happened? She died. She didn't wake up from the surgery. And when they went in her body to see what went wrong, because nothing should have gone wrong as far as they could tell, and did the autopsy, they could not find what went wrong. So that woman should not have died, but she did, because she told herself over and over and over again, I'm going to die at 43. So positive thoughts, you guys. So you may call it arrogance. I call it confidence, brought about by the habit of enthusiasm. Optimism is action. Okay, and that's directly from the author, Mr. Whaley. So when you think of people, say athletes, who say, I'm going to win this game, I've got this game, that team's a loser, I'm totally going to get it, right? He's saying that's not necessarily arrogance. That's just pure confidence in that positive self-expectancy. I expect to win, and that's that. There's nothing else about it. So he talks about a lot of Olympic athletes and such who have that attitude and just did it. And it wasn't luck. It was everything behind their attitude and their preparation. Okay, so we just did that. That's so weird. Did everyone write down the 3 key reasons winners expect to win? Desire, self-control, and preparation are all behind it. There's no luck in there. You had to work hard for it. Well, it was on the previous slide, Maz. Desire, self-control, and preparation. Optimism is like a forest fire. You can smell it for miles before you see it burning. Optimism is like flypaper. You can't help but get stuck to it. Again, from the author, Dr. Whately. You want to be around optimistic, enthusiastic people, right? Do you like being around sad, begrudging, constantly negative and cynical people who say everything's going wrong in their life and it's going wrong in society? No, we tend to step away from those people, right? Because I want to be happy. I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to hear all that negativity. I seriously do not listen to the news. And it's not because I don't want to be a well-informed person. I do read the news. I'll go through the news feed on the internet and I'll choose the stuff I want to read. But I cannot stand to hear and listen about all the drama and the negativity because it's just so depressing and upsetting. Did you know Mr. Paul? Mr. Paul is my husband. And he goes to work every day. And he's a criminal analyst against drugs. He finds, bad guys doing, selling drugs and such. And they leave the news channel. They have a huge big screen TV at the office. They leave the news channel on the entire working hours, the whole time. So guess what he's hearing? The news. And he gets so mad. He comes home and he's talking about this stuff he saw on the news that upset him so much. I'm like, why are you upset about it? You can't change it. And so my first response, of course, is just turn off that TV because we don't need that negativity. We want to get away from it. We want the positive people, the optimism, the enthusiasm, the people that help, keep the world a little brighter. So we always gravitate to positive, self-assured, optimistic winners, not the negative, pessimistic, unbelieving losers. Because as a winning individual, you know that bad luck is attracted by the negative thinking, right? and that an attitude of optimistic expectancy is the surest way to create an upward cycle and to attract the best of luck most of the time, even though luck doesn't exist. Whoa, this one was an interesting one. The mind-body effect. We just talked about it a little bit, that the way you think and feel makes a huge difference on your own physical health. Voodoo death. So voodoo, you've probably heard of it. You may or may not understand what it is, but it originated in Africa as a form of ancestor worship. So witch doctors practice pointing the bone, where a magic spell is cast into the victim and disease and death would ensue. Now you're thinking to yourself, how does that possibly work? We know that, or okay, I'll just say me, I know in my mind at least that magic doesn't exist, just doesn't, okay? So like my daughter loves Harry Potter. She's read all the books and seen all the movies many, many times. And I'm okay with her loving that and even sort of believing it. But I know it doesn't exist. In my mind, it's all false. So how does it work though? How is it that the witch doctor can cast this spell and then cause death into the person? Can anyone answer that? Why do you think that works?
Ma'am, I think I can answer that.
Okay, tell us.
Especially if they believe so strongly in that, like in the society as a whole, they believe so strongly in voodoo and in the witch doctor that even if the person solely doesn't believe that, oh, they can cause me death, the society around them it's a conditioning of beliefs that they have that causes them to be like, if I'm cursed, I'm going to die or I'm going to get sick.
Awesome, Beatrice. That was an awesome explanation. Exactly. The person who got cursed totally believes in what's going on. And as a result, the curse works because they believe it's real. And he gave another example. I don't think it's on here. Let's see, is it on here? No, it's not. Another example, it was an Australian Aborigine. Those are the native people of Australia before Europeans came over. And there is a belief amongst their people that if you were to eat a young hen, then you will die. Like that is one of the worst things you could possibly do or eat. So when this guy was young, another man fed him a hen, but disguised it, told him, no, of course this isn't him. What are you talking about? And he ate it. He didn't die, right? It was years later, the man told the other young man, did you know that one day I really did feed you young hen? Ha, 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 ha. The young man freaked out, and guess what happened? Because he truly, oh my God, I'm now cursed. I'm going to die. He died very soon after because he truly believed he was cursed and death would ensue immediately as a result. And it did because he truly believed it. Okay, you guys. So your homework. Okay. Optimism, enthusiasm, faith, hope. Each is a synonym for positive self-expectancy. I hope you have your paper out so you can write this homework down. Rewrite the script. Think about problems as opportunities. Think of one major pressing problem that has or is keeping you from reaching a goal or personal fulfillment. Write a 1 or 2 sentence definition of the problem. Now rewrite the definition script. Only this time view it as an opportunity. Add some creativity to finding the solution as though you were advising someone. So you know how you think of this in another way. You have a problem and you think there's no way to get around it, right? There's so many obstacles. There's no way I can fix it. And I'm just, I can't think of a nicer word to say. I'm just going to have to deal with it or put up with it. But if someone else, you say your friend comes up to you and is telling you about their problem, and you can think of a few solutions for them. And you're positive and you're helpful to your friend. But are you positive and helpful to yourself when you have a problem? A lot of us aren't. So that's what this is trying to do for you. Something that you think is impossible, or you couldn't, you're constantly thinking about why I can't instead of how I can. Okay, so think of it that way. Think about a time where you might have felt helpless and possibly lost hope, faith, or optimism. What are some things that you could have done differently to turn that around based on examples provided in this chapter? Okay, so does anyone have something for us right now that they could possibly share an example? So remember, if you do your homework, so tomorrow when we're back on, we will ask for your examples so that we can give you a star. You're getting a star every time we do our homework, you guys, on our Mat Chat here. So I hope you think about it, because this will personally help you as an individual thinking about how can I turn around this so-called impossible task and turn it into something I can do, I can fulfill. Anyone out there?
So, ma'am, I'll share one.
Yes, ma'am.
So the one that I'm grappling with right now is teaching in the COVID era.
Mhm.
You know, trying to think of, you know, how do I teach math, which, you know, trying to stay 6 feet apart and teach it with a mask on. And not share materials, not share resources, possibly not have computers in my classroom, all of which I have traditionally used. So that is my problem. So my rewriting the definition is, you know, this is now my opportunity to reframe my lessons and be more creative, you know, more innovative, and think of new ways to be, you know, to figure this out. I haven't figured it out yet, but this is my reframing the problem and trying to think of, my brain is still working on the solutions, but yeah, trying to figure out how this will happen this year.
Yeah,
So-
no, and that's a really good example, I think, of how you could, because we're all, you know, with the coronavirus, we're all having to rethink and innovate on a very regular basis on, okay, how do I do this? And for example, the karate studio, Master Lappin, I don't know how much you hear from her about this, but we do in our employee and instructor meetings that how much Master Lappin and the studio had to innovate and completely change things when this all occurred. And apparently we've done a very successful job with the innovation that we did put forth, which was different. When we first made all these changes, a lot of us were like, oh God, but it all worked out, thank goodness, right?
Right.
Because there's a lot of studios, the group that Master Lappin, she's in touch with a lot of different studios across the entire country, not just our region or Florida. And they are just out and out, completely going downhill. If not, they've shut their doors. So this is definitely an opportunity to figure things out of the box and to innovate. And I hope you get there, Miss Kathy.
Me too, ma'am.
And Maz, you're not allowed to say I'm really bored. That's kind of, you know, disrespectful and rude. You keep that to yourself. And when you feel idle, what should you do? Overcome it. That's number 13 from our 14 attitude requirements. You are not allowed to be bored as a future black belt, because we always overcome our idleness here. Okay, you guys. I got to figure out how to get back, how to unshare myself. Oh, crap daddle. Oh, wait.
There should be a thing that says stop share.
Oh, there we go. Go back to
Okay.
it.
Got it.
It only shows up like for a second, and I don't even know why it shows up. So I'll figure that out when we get done here. So you guys, if you don't have any questions, I hope you have a great day. I hope you go to class. I hope everyone's earned their purple stripe or about to, and you, oh, there we go. Oh no, that wasn't it. And stinker butt. That wasn't it either.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, turn in that paperwork, you guys. Due by Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Control S, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Control S.
I don't know if that'll
Ma'am.
work.
Control S.
please.
Oh, there's publisher.
Control S don't work on anything.
There we go.
Yay.
Okay. Now there was someone I needed to talk to. Oh, Michael already left. Michael, there's Michael. Michael, can you hear us now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so was it your computer? Okay, so I hope you're, bye-bye, Miss Kathy. I hope you were listening the whole time and not just being frustrated about not
There's
hearing.
2 Connors.
Connor. No, that's Corona.
Yeah, it does
Camp,
that
honey.
sometimes. It's just a glitch.
Okay, any questions, Avina? What's your
There's
question,
2.
honey?
I was just saying, I'm working. One of my goals by the end of the summer is to be better at like close-up drawings, because every time I draw something, it's like 1/10 of the paper. And I was asking some of my friends what to draw, and and they asked me to draw like one of their favorite horror movie game characters, even the horror game characters, but.
Mhm.
He doesn't look that scary.
No, he doesn't. He looks very
that
happy,
Mugman?
actually.
He looks. I told him he looks like a happy coconut.
I don't know if this would work for you, but a technique I learned when I was in middle school art, we actually, like, you have a picture, you take a picture of what it is, and then you would make it into a grid, a very even grid. And then you would do the same thing on a bigger portion paper so that you could draw the grid.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Like make it a puzzle?
Yeah, it's sort of like a puzzle, which you then completely redraw by hand, of course, onto your new grid. And of course, you make sure that grid's super light so that at the end, you don't even see it anymore. It's the whole picture.
Where's the paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Skylar, what's your question, honey? Unmute yourself.
It's about the homework.
Yes, ma'am?
I don't really have that many goals to complete, but my only goal is finishing my favorite show before the next time my friend comes over. And I think it has a lot of episodes, maybe.
Well, I want you to discuss with your, when you're young, sometimes it's a little harder to figure these things out, right? So I want you to discuss with mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, one of the adults in your house, discuss with them a goal they also want you to achieve, perhaps. One maybe you're not as clear about, and see how you can, make that into your goal. And then, of course, in a positive manner, how are you going to get there versus how can I do it versus, oh, I can't do all that, right? So discuss with mom and dad how you can do that, honey.
Okay.
Because maybe they can give you some ideas of what they're hoping that you could also achieve. One, of course, is black belt, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that would mean testing as many times as possible. My husband and I, we never missed a test. A lot of people miss tests, here and there. We never missed a test. Or going to as many classes as possible. What now?
I'm talking to Connor.
Oh my gosh, Connor, you're being weird now. Okay, you guys,
fun.
I hope you have an awesome day. I'll be at the studio tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.